What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about 7 mistakes that every player makes in CS2. If you have any questions throughout the video, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. The map that I am using today is provided by refrag.gg. I'll leave their link down below. So the first most common mistake I see a lot of newer players making is wasting util. And there's a lot of different ways that you can waste util, but generally speaking, if you don't know the reason why you're throwing a piece of util, or you don't know where the piece of util you're throwing is going to land, probably don't throw that piece of util. And this is what I mean. Let's say I'm a Palace lurk and my teammates are mid and they want to go towards B. I'm not going to run away from Palace and say, yeah, guys, I can do A pressure right now so you guys can go up cat. This is not a fake. Throwing this flash is not a fake. This is not going to make any of the A players go, oh my God, wait, I'm blind. It's probably A, guys. This looks like a fake flash. If you're playing at higher elos, this will look like a fake flash because there's no smokes off of it. There's no contact taken off the flash. And think of where it pops. It pops right over ramp. This would flash for someone to peek CT, and this does nothing. If I'm a B anchor on Mirage and I start the round by mauling apartments, then I come over to Van and I nade apartments, and then I smoke, and then I flash so I can peek. Awesome. I used all my util. If they are B right now, they're stopped. However, when the round progresses into a later phase, what do I have to stop anything at B? I use my molly, I use my nade, I use my smoke, I use my flash. If I go back site, I can't throw a smoke for me to play around. I can't flash behind myself so that I could play around the smoke properly. And I can't use a molly to stop them if they come out apps. There's a lot of different scenarios where you need util later in the rounds. So you want to be able to weigh when you should actually use your util. Should I use it at the beginning of the round? Should I use it later in the round? What should I use it for in those individual scenarios? Using util is massive in this game, and you guys need to understand how to use it and when to use it. Now, staying towards B, the second biggest mistake I see a lot of players making is missing timings. So let's say I'm a B lurk and a player runs up cat, okay, and my teammates are taking mid. This means that generally speaking, there's probably going to only be one B because the cat player runs up cat. There's probably going to be a window player, a con player, an A player, and a B player. So if there's only one B, this is going to be one of the times when my B lurk is most useful. So what should I do? Should I instantly walk out apps and try and fight this guy? Should I walk up close and try and catch him if he plays a bad jump spot or plays somewhere back site where I know how to clear the angles? Or do I leave? If I'm a B lurk, the point of me being a B lurk is that I'm going to try and 1v1 this B guy. I want to try and 1v1 this guy because if I kill him, I can get all of sight. So what I should do is I should try and catch a gap, still give myself the best opportunity in this fight. I shouldn't just instantly try and run out and kill this guy, but I should try and give myself the best percentages for getting this kill. And if I do, my B lurk job is done. If I get this B kill, this cat player has to come back. The window player might have to rotate. And now that they put numbers towards B, my team has space to go towards A. This is just one scenario, but there's going to be a lot of scenarios on a lot of different maps where there are specific timings where you should take a fight. If I'm a Palace lurk and I hear an A player flashing from triple over con so that his teammates can fight mid, this doesn't mean that I should still sit in Palace and just tell my team, yo, there's a guy triple. If he's flashing for people to fight mid, that means he's the only A player, generally speaking, because his team is fighting for mid. So I should take this 1v1 and try and kill him while he's out of position and telling me exactly where he is. These are just the examples on Mirage, but you can apply this to a lot of different maps. I like using Mirage as an example map for a lot of these concepts because everyone understands Mirage. Everyone's played Mirage thousands and thousands of times, and it's a good one-size-fits-all map for all the players in Counter-Strike at a high or a low level. The next mistake I see a lot of players making is playing everywhere on CT side. So many times I'll do a coaching session and my students send me a demo and they're playing A for the first 2 rounds, then they play con, then they play cat, then they play B, and then they start opting. And this is super, super ineffective. So at a pro level, when you're playing on a team, you have an A player, a con player, you have a player for each individual spot because those players are specialists in those spots. A lot of times in pugs, you're not going to get players who have played at a pro level or played in a team before. However, when they're playing the game, they need to play the same spot every single round because they need to have information on what the other team is doing, what, let's say, their Palace lurker is doing. Are they lurking out late? Are they lurking out early? If you have a new player on the bomb site every round, this guy could do the same thing the entire game, and no one will be able to pick up on it because they've only played the site for an average of 2 rounds if you have 5 players. Basically, what I'm saying is keep track of what the other team is doing, and you're not able to do that if you're floating around the map at all times. It's good to sometimes, yes, if they're fighting on mid, I won't play A this round. I'll smoke ramp, and I'll go con, and I'll double up con. I'll play retake A from stair, right? This is okay to do if there's a reason to do it. However, if you're just floating around the map for fun and you don't really have a position you're playing, you will eventually lose games because you're not actually playing a spot. Your teammates will have to compensate for you moving around the map, and eventually that will result in some lost rounds, and eventually that will result in some lost games. Now, the fourth most common mistake that I see players making is not knowing their jobs in their individual spots. I have a couple of videos on this. I'll link the playlist down below if you guys want to check it out, or somewhere up here around the screen. But you need to know what your job is, and you need to know the difference between a rotator, an anchor, and an opper. As an anchor, if I'm solo on A site, percentage-wise, if the T's come out ramp or do an A exec, do you think I am holding this bomb site? No. If they smoke right side A, and I'm playing somewhere like default, and I die before my teammates can rotate, what the T's are going to do is they're going to come over here, they're going to flash spawn, they're going to take spawn. Now look at the retake that my team has. Any rotation through spawn sucks because the T's can swing at any time, they can flash at any time, they can peek you at any time. So this rotation is now extremely dangerous. This almost forces your team to retake from jungle. And now if your team is retaking from jungle, when they run into site, they're running into a crossfire from CT, ramp, Tetris, sandwich, everywhere on A site the T's can be. If I understood my job as a solo A player and the T's throw right side smokes and I'm jump spotting ticket, when they come out, I can drop a smoke in front of myself, I can flash in front of myself, and I can get back. Now what happens is I can maintain spawn control. If my B rotates coming over and he has a flash, he can flash behind me, I can peek, and if the T's try to take spawn, I now have a decent fight to control CT, and instead of taking a 1v3, 1v4, or 1v5 from default, I'm now taking like a 1v2 or a 1v1 on people trying to push CT. Percentage-wise, this will be a lot better. It will create a lot more space for your teammates in retakes, and this is generally how pro players will play solo A. Sometimes they'll play under palace, sometimes they'll play default, but they will only do that after they condition that they play retake spawn when the rest of their team is not playing on A. If we're to look at the mid players' jobs or the rotators' jobs, what they're going to do is they're going to pass information to the site anchors on if they think the other team is going to go A, if they think the other team is going to go B, what the mid players on the other team are doing, and where they think they're going to go. So if I'm a con player and I get smoked in con, and I get smoked in window, and the T's flash cat, right? They do some sort of flash like this. Let's say this con smoke is better and I don't have information on mid. I'm going to communicate to my team, hey, high likelihood that the T's are going to try and go cat. So what this will tell my B player is maybe it's good for him to get B space. If the other team is taking mid and they're going to try and go up cat, percentage-wise, there's probably going to only be 2 players in upper B. And percentage-wise, do you think it's better for him to push with his cat player into upper B and double push and take percentage-wise probably a 2v2? Or do you think it's better for them to play site and allow the split to happen? No, it's going to be to fight one side of the split. And this was all communicated by the con player. The con player is the one who actually essentially gave the B players enough information to have a good B setup. Vice versa, if I'm the cat player, and let's say cat gets smoked, window gets smoked, flash goes into con, what does this look like? It looks like the T's are trying to take con control. What will this tell the con player? The con player will either shift towards A, the opera will rotate around ticket, and what's going to happen is the A player is going to shift into A site, the con player is going to play around like jungle area maybe, if the opera rotated spawn and he doesn't have to be the one shifting in towards A. So now you have one player in jungle, one player in A site, one player opping spawn, so that if the T's come up con, he can potentially get a pick. You see how this works? This was all, again, the information provided by the cat player. So as a rotator, it is your job to pass information on what the other team is doing, what you think the other team is doing. And as the opper, it's important that I just float where I think the other team is going to be, or go for a pick early to try and pick off a lurker or a straggler. That's really all you have to do as an opper. As long as you move around the map, stay unpredictable, and just try and get your one kill, fall back to a better angle, that's going to be percentage-wise the best way to op on a majority of maps in the map pool. I'm harping on the knowing your job concept so much because so many times players will think that the con player's job is to fight mid and die in mid, but no. It depends on the round that you're playing. Depends on the team that you're playing. It depends on what they've been doing the entire game. There's a lot of factors that go into dictating your job. You cannot play a one-size-fits-all con role every single game. Also, my longtime viewers will know that I have switched my knife from my M9 to my butterfly. If you guys want to go ahead and trade your skins, go ahead and use Skinsmonkey. I've been using them for a while and I'm very happy to be sponsored by them right now. They offer the best trade rates for any site on the planet. So shout out to Skinsmonkey for sponsoring this video. Have a skin you're getting bored of? Trade it. Want a skin at the lowest price on the market? Buy it. Skinsmonkey is the best automated skin trading site with a large selection of skins to choose from and a 24/7 live chat support. you get a 30% deposit bonus, and using code POLO, you can get an extra 5% on top of that. Meaning if you want a skin worth $135, but you only have 100, you can get that skin on Skinsmonkey right now. And if you don't have anything to trade, they do free giveaways every day, so everyone has something to gain from using Skinsmonkey. Using code POLO, you can also get a $5 bonus on your first trade, so click the link in my description, use code POLO, and make the most of it. Now, the next concept I want to talk about is taking your time. So let's say I'm a B anchor and I'm jump spotting at B, and the T start coming B. What is my initial reaction going to be? Am I going to back up and try and fight them when I'm probably going to get flashed? Am I going to come over here and try and hold this when I'm probably going to get flashed? Or am I going to run to back site, maybe drop a smoke like this to fake like I'm over there, throw a flash, and try and fight them from here? Percentage-wise, this one's probably going to be better, and it involves taking my time. So this comes down to making a plan before things happen. If I'm jump spotting B, I'm not going to be sitting here brainlessly jump spotting B just staring at my screen. I'm going to be making a plan. If the other team comes B, what am I doing? I see a lot of players panic in a lot of scenarios, and it's not necessarily because those scenarios themselves are bad or warrant them panicking. It's because they haven't made a plan beforehand of what they should do when things happen. So while you have time to think about what's going on, make a plan for the most likely options that you'll see in the round. If I'm in a 1v3 from market, I'm not going to run up to market window and start fighting everything at once, just like, jump out and take every fight at once. I'm going to take my time and figure out what I should do. Gather all the information that I have on the other team. I know there was one cat. I know there was one bench. The third guy is unknown. It's a pretty normal scenario. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that information to make a plan that will make sense in this round. And that will take time. It'll take a little bit of computing power in your brain to figure out what you should do in the scenario. You need to read scenarios and try and figure out the best percentages for you to win that round, rather than trying to instantly take fights without taking your time to think of a plan. Because when you get into the scenario, it doesn't matter if you're a pro player, it doesn't matter if you're a noob. If I don't have enough time to make a plan and I'm in a 1v3 and I'm out here taking 2 fights at once, yeah, I'm gonna panic. That's just human nature. So I guess I wrote this concept down as taking your time, but what it really is make a plan for all of your scenarios, so when you get into the most common scenarios, you don't panic. Now, the 6th most common mistake that I see players making will be trash talking teammates. Now, I understand you'll get toxic players. I've gotten plenty. I've played 4,500 matches on FACEIT. Trust me, I've gotten my fair share of toxic players. But if you try and argue with them and try and show them that they're wrong, or get upset with them and just like egg them on, percentage-wise, you're going to lose that game a lot more often than if you tried to either calm them down or just mute them. Muting them, I think, would be a last resort, because you're just playing a 4v5 of information at that point. You just have one less player that can pass you information. But percentage-wise, sometimes it will make sense to mute them rather than just having someone giving terrible comms the entire time, trash talking your teammates and being toxic. There are plenty of FACEIT level 10s who are like 3,000 elo that play every game with no comms, and they're so good and they don't have to comm to teammates. And guess what? They probably lose more games because of it. It's just how people are. It's just gonna happen. You just got to deal with it in the best way that you can. And in my opinion, that's either going to be muting them or just focusing on your game, playing your game, and not letting them affect you at all. The 7th most common mistake that I see players making will be not playing FACEIT. There are so many times that I do demo reviews on my Metafy, which I will link down below if you want to go check them out, that players only play matchmaking or premier matches. The Valve anti-cheat sucks. FACEIT, way better. You get more players that want to win, you get less cheaters, and it's completely free. It is completely free to play FACEIT. I'm not sponsored by FACEIT in this video at all. I can only recommend, if you want to take this game seriously, please, please, please switch to FACEIT. And if you are already on FACEIT and you think this point is useless because you're already on FACEIT, try to play hubs. If you're in North America, you can play the Mythic hubs, and it'll be filled with players who generally want to try and win. Some of the higher level hubs have requirements, so you have to be playing in ESEA Advanced or you have to be playing in ESEA Main. So there's a skill floor for the level of players that you can get in your game. But yeah, if you're not playing FACEIT and you're taking this game seriously, play FACEIT. That's bottom line. And I just want to say, this doesn't mean that every game you're going to get players who don't cheat, or every game you're going to get players who care about the game. Just percentage-wise, it is significantly less than playing matchmaking or premier. Anyway, that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll leave my links down below for coaching. I also stream every day on my Twitch, Monday through Friday, 1 to 7 p.m. EST, if you want to go check me out there. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.